postrado a tus pies. Por eso te pido, madre de mi amor, no eches al olvido a este pecador. Por eso te pido, madre de mi amor, que no eches al olvido a este pecador.
Welcome to the Land Use, Transportation, and Infrastructure Committee meeting of Denver City Council. Full coverage of this session of the Land Use, Transportation, and Infrastructure Committee begins now.
Can't make it to the museum during the day? Come for an evening visit during Friday evening hours. The museum is open until 9 p.m. on Fridays, and admission prices remain the same. Looking for a great way to cool off this month? Artists on Santa Fe Gallery is featuring gorgeous oceanic paintings by guest artist Tatiana Giametti. Plan your visit by going to artistsonsantafe.com for a full list of gallery times. Woody Fisher Kitchen and Bar is nestled in one of the oldest remaining structures in Denver's iconic Union Station neighborhood, historic Hose House No. 1. It was one of the first fire stations in Denver. Join us for our live music series. Whether by virtue of his lyrics, his live performances, or the infuriating line he seems to occupy between canny and total fraud, Father John Misty has cultivated a rare space for himself in the musical landscape, that of a real enigma. Don't miss this unique performance with your Colorado Symphony. Experience Denver Botanic Gardens without the crowds. This therapeutic horticulture program is intended to allow exploration and learn about other sensory-based programming that will inspire curiosity and awaken the senses. The Centennial State celebrates its 146th birthday on Monday, August 1st, with a free event at the History Colorado Center. Bring your friends and family because it's time to party. Engage with art, explore on-site activities, and experience exhibitions on view, all while enjoying free admission. Advanced ticket reservations are encouraged. And that's a quick look at what's happening in Denver this week. This month on Elevating Denver, get a behind-the-scenes look at the Avalanche Championship Rally. Learn how to dance like a dork while addressing mental health concerns.
Every time I dork dance, afterwards I feel better.
Plus, we get on the water with a dragon boat racing team.
You know, when you're out on the water, your nerves are just skyrocketing.
All that and more this month on Elevating Denver.
Register your Denver Days event for August at your local park, and the City of Denver will waive your permit fee, as if you needed additional incentive to have some fun in the sun for hashtag Denver Days. Parks fill up fast. Don't wait. Register now.
During spring and summer, Denver often sees an increase in yard litter, as well as overgrown weeds and vegetation. Some of the most common violations include shrubs extending out into traffic or over a sidewalk, trash and litter on a property, or overgrown weeds and grass. If you see a property that you think might be in violation, you can call 311 or submit a case on PocketGov. If the city finds a violation, they will give the property owner time to correct the issue with a minimum 10 days grace period. City inspectors will always work with property owners before resorting to issuing fines. Their main goal is to keep residents safe and Denver looking beautiful. Denver 311 and PocketGov, helping you navigate Denver city services. Hey Denver residents, in 2022, Dottie's Solid Waste Management Division is making changes to household trash collection. For many of you, this means your collection day for trash, recycling, and compost will change. You can confirm your large item and extra trash collection week, as well as your trash collection day, online at denvergov.org/reroute and in the Recollect app. Thanks for your support, Denver.
Do you want to be active in your community, but you don't know when or where things are happening? Well, don't sweat it. Just check out the upcoming events calendar on denvergov.org. It's your one-stop shop for community meetings, online workshops, and more, so you can be fully informed and involved. You can even search by date, keyword, or even what neighborhood you live in. Plus, you can also see on what holidays the city is closed. The upcoming events calendar, yet another great feature on the all-new denvergov.org.
Street sweeping season is starting in Denver. It runs April through November. So what we encourage people to do is go out and look at the red and white street sweeping signs on their block and then move their car on their street sweeping day. We ask people to move their cars so that we can sweep effectively. We want to get all the way to the curb line where dirt and debris tends to accumulate. Street sweeping helps us keep our environment clean, our neighborhoods clean. It removes dirt and debris off the streets, keeps it out of our air and water. Taking that debris off the street also prevents our stormwater inlets from getting clogged when it rains. So we want to clean that curb line the best we can. So we're out here reminding people to please move your cars for your street sweeping day. You can look at the red and white signs that are on your block to learn what day is your street sweeping day. You can also go to pocketgov.com where you can see your street sweeping schedule and sign up for reminders via email or text. So we encourage people to do that to avoid a street sweeping citation.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Land Use, Transportation, and Infrastructure Committee. My name is Councilwoman Amanda Sandoval, and I'm chair. Sorry that we were a bit delayed this morning. We have one action item in front of us today, but first let's go around the room and start with introductions, and I'll start with on my left this morning.
I guess that would be me. Paul Cashman, South Denver, District 6.
Good morning, Jamie Torres, District 3.
Good morning, Joel Clark, District 7.
Good morning, Chris Herndon, District 8.
Thank you all. So today we have before us a rezoning at 479 Knox Court, and we have Fran from CPD presenting. Thank you, Fran. Oh, and I'm sorry, we also have Councilwoman Sita Baca online. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Good morning. Good morning, Candy Sadabaca, District 9.
Thank you. Go ahead with your presentation, Fran.
Great. Good morning, members of City Council. My name is Fran Peñafiel with CPD, and today I'm going to be presenting a rezoning for 479 North Knox Court. The request is to rezone from ESUD 1X to ERH 2.5. The proposed rezoning is located in Council District 3 in the Barnum neighborhood, and the property owners are requesting to rezone their property to allow for the potential development of a duplex on site. The proposed Urban Edge Row House 2.5 zone district allows for the suburban house, the urban house, duplex, tandem house, and row house primary building forms, as well as the detached accessory dwelling unit use that are allowed only as accessory to a primary single unit residential use. As previously mentioned, the property is currently zoned ESU D1X, and we can see in this zone map that the property is mostly surrounded by other Urban Edge single unit D1X, and to the northeast, you can see some EMX2 zoning. The existing land use on the site is single unit residential, and it's mostly surrounded by other single unit residential uses and public quasi-public to the north, which is a fire station. There's some 2-unit and multi-unit residential uses to the south as well. This slide shows the existing context surrounding the subject site with the proposed rezoning site on the top right. You can see nearby some examples of other residential uses, some single unit and some multi-unit uses in the area. The map amendment application is before you today and will subsequently go before council for a public hearing. Since the staff report was published, we had no comments from the RNO or from the public. Now we're going to look at the 5 review criteria. The first criteria is consistency with adopted plans. There are 3 plans applicable to this rezoning. We have Comprehensive Plan 2040, we have Blueprint Denver, and we have Barnum West Neighborhood Plan. The rezoning is consistent with several of the strategies in Comprehensive Plan, and you can see more details on this on the staff report. The future neighborhood context is the urban edge. Within this context, we can find a range of uses from single unit and multi-unit residential to commercial corridors and centers. As the rezoning would allow a variety of building forms in an urban edge setting, the proposed district is appropriate and consistent with the Blueprint Denver context description. Within the urban edge neighborhood context, the subject property is categorized as low-medium residential future place, which is defined in Blueprint Denver as a mix of low to mid-scale multi-unit residential options. Small-scale multi-unit buildings are interspersed between single and two-unit residential buildings. Buildings are generally up to 3 stories or less in height. The proposed ERH 2.5 zone district allows multiple building forms up to 2.5 stories in height that are compatible with the future place type. The subject property is part of the all other areas of the city growth area. These areas are anticipated to experience around 20% of new housing growth and 10% of new employment growth by 2040. The proposed rezoning is consistent with the growth strategy mapped in this area. Subject property, the proposed rezoning is also consistent with land use and build form housing goal number 2 in Blueprint Denver to diversify housing options by exploring opportunities to integrate middle housing into low and low-medium residential areas. This rezoning to a low house zone district will have minimal impacts on the character of the surrounding neighborhood, and it's consistent with Blueprint Denver recommendations. Additionally, the rezoning of the subject property will provide missing middle housing options for residents in the neighborhood. The proposed map amendment is therefore consistent with the above strategy. The Barnum West Neighborhood Plan was adopted by City Council in 1986 and applies to the subject property. The proposed rezoning to allow for an extra unit on this site would help implement some of the plan's goals to stabilize or upgrade, where necessary, the present housing stock, to maintain the neighborhood low-density residential character, and to maintain or upgrade the quality of low-density residential properties while encouraging the construction of new low-density housing. Staff also finds that the requested rezoning meets the next 2 criteria. The rezoning will result in uniformity of district regulations, and it will further the public health, safety, and welfare of the city, primarily through its implementation of adopted plans. The justifying circumstance for this rezoning is a city-adopted plan. Since the approval of the existing ESUD1X zone district, the city has adopted the Comprehensive Plan 2040 and Blueprint Denver. As stated throughout this presentation, the proposed rezoning to ERH 2.5 meets the intent of these plans. Lastly, the proposed zoning is consistent with the urban edge neighborhood context, residential district, and the ERH 2.5 zone district. Staff does recommend approval based on finding all review criteria has been met.
Thank you, Fran. Do we have any questions for this rezoning from my colleagues? Seeing no questions from my colleagues, do we have any comments or anything further? Council Pro Tem or Council President Torres.
Thank you. I'm still getting used to it too. Thank you, Fran. Council District 3, this is one of the areas that's currently under discussion in the West Area Plan, but I haven't heard through a lot of their discussion and input from residents that it has transforms from Blueprint in any marginal way. What Blueprint already kind of planned out for the Knox corridor, and for this area, it was allowing kind of increase in density to, is it low to medium density, right? Okay, and which feels pretty consistent with RH. It's a slightly bigger lot than a lot of the other lots in the Barnum neighborhood, but I don't know that, that probably does suit like a row home kind of building form a little bit better than a single duplex. So I think that is likely what the applicants are after, is what my assumption is. It's across the street from a fire station. It is catty corner from business, small business, auto mechanics, and a small retail shop. And then to the east of them is another single family home, so, and a block from Barnum Park. So it makes good sense to me. So I appreciate all the detail, and it'll be one that I'll be supporting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Torres. Does anyone have any objections moving this 0821 to the full council. Seeing no objections, we have a motion and we have a second by Councilman Cashman. And I believe, thank you, Fran. That's it, and we'll see you at City Council.
Thank you.
That's the only agenda item we had this morning. So with that, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.